Hello, Diana.
Hello, babe. I love you. You just couldn't crack me up. That face, that beautiful, handsome, gorgeous face of yours.
Oh, I
With
didn't
that
know where you're going with that.
Well, you are with your little twinkle in
I
your
do have a naughty
eye.
twinkle in my eye,
You
Diana.
do.
But I think when I'm sat with you, lovely
Mm.
Diana Vickers, my twinkle gets brighter.
Dude, that twinkle really
Have you been?
twinkles. I've been good, babe.
Great.
I'm busy,
Busy, booked and blessed.
as they say, with the pray hands.
I'm loving it.
But it's a lot at the moment.
But you're just riding the wave.
I am. There's a big tsunami, and I'm, on it.
But of good work.
It's really good. I'm rehearsing for a play at the moment.
What's the play?
It's called Coven. It's about the Pendle Witch Trials, and I'm playing an 11-year-old boy. And I know,
Sorry.
just spat everywhere.
Go on.
At me.
Playing an
And
11-year-old boy.
yes,
Go on.
And a male police officer.
I would have cast you, I'm just going to say it, Diana, everyone's thinking it, as a witch.
Well, yeah, you'd think, you'd think that. No, well, I went in and my agent ran me when I was an 11-year-old boy, and I do this rap.
Oh,
because
Diana.
I'm basically accused. It's all about, back in the day, all these witches, all these men basically accused women of being witches.
Yeah, it was
to
a
take
way
away
of
their power and silence them.
So there was a lot of it was just about good old-fashioned misogyny.
Absolutely.
And some of it was they were trying to get rid of midwives, apparently.
Yes,
and
they
the
were.
doctors wanted to take over and get rid of all the women.
Well, you know what I actually found out the other day? That women are on their back giving birth because it's easier for the doctors to deliver the baby, as opposed to really a woman should be on all fours.
Yeah.
But it means a lot of these doctors back in the day were male doctors.
You sound like a misogynist there. Women should be on all fours.
but to give birth.
Or kind of standing up, mooing like a cow.
Out.
Yeah, it should just drop out. So are you supposed to be on all fours?
I did.
Like a cow?
Well, we spoke about I'm not actually going to do it. I wasn't
Don't
going to
do
do
it.
it. Yeah, because it's like
I don't
then
need
the
to
baby.
see that, Diana. My breakfast will come up.
the baby comes up with if you're on your back and your legs in the air. It's not gravity.
There's no
There's no
gravity.
gravity, is there? It's like on all fours, gravity helps.
I think so. Getting back to the witches.
Yes.
I love you. Your agent's calling, going, great new show, Diana.
Yeah.
You go in
Witches.
and they go, we'd like you to read for the 11-year-old boy and the male policeman.
Yeah, well, obviously.
How did that feel?
My agent rang me. She's like, "The show about witches or Pendle Witch?" And I went,
Oh,
"Brilliant!"
great, yeah.
I went, "Great! I'm going to be
You're
a
quite
witch." And they
witchy.
went, "No, wait a minute, you're the 11-year-old boy." And I thought,
Right.
you know what?
That's not
I'm
great.
diverse. I'm doing a bit of this. I'm doing a bit of that. But yeah, I'm glad I did it. You'll come and see me.
Of course I will. I love watching you. I thought you were so great as Gwyneth Paltrow. And I'm going to be honest, I came as a joke. I was like, this will be ridiculous. And it was objectively, I'm quite snooty.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm such
you
a snooty
are.
cow. And I came and thought it was the funniest thing. You were so good in it. So you said, rewind a little bit. You're rapping as this little 11-year-old boy.
11-year-old boy. There's a rap.
Is he northern?
He's a northern.
Of course he is.
Yeah, he's northern, and he accuses
Cheeky chappy.
little
Cheeky chappy accusing women of being witches and then
Yeah.
rapping about it.
What is it? Jenny's Debussy, like he's like that, and then he like raps like that, and he's very funny. And then I play a guy called Covers or Ladies, yeah, and he's very.
And do you have a moustache as the
I do.
policeman? Of course you do.
Yeah, I'll show you pictures. How have you been? What have you been up to?
I'm really good. I've been busy. I'm sad that summer's over.
It really is officially over.
I was in summer denial. I was kind of pretending it was still going on.
Yeah, me too.
It's not, is it? Yeah, you were out in your bikini singing your ice cream
literally.
track.
Yeah, literally. I mean, what happened? It was like the minute September came, it was like, that's it. It's like someone like closed the shop shutters,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Like
shop
it's
closed.
done.
Shop
It's
closed.
over.
The sun hasn't got his hat on anymore, and it is
Not
time to
coming
say
out to
goodbye.
play.
What I can't handle about winter in England, and I'd hate to be this guy because it's like we all know it can get miserable. The sky literally goes grey
I know.
for months, and you don't realise. Then suddenly the sun comes out, and you're like, "Oh, we've been living in darkness." It's like some futuristic horror film.
I'm not even joking. January till April, the thought actually scares me.
Okay, we don't want to bum everyone out.
Right.
What are your top tips for getting through these cold, dark winter days and nights?
Okay. The one thing that really, really does help me is resetting. So what I
What's
do
that?
is I basically then go, when it comes to January, once Christmas is over, I want everyone back in that office.
Right.
I want my agent, my manager finding me work.
Right.
And I want to get in that gym and I want to like do loads of interesting classes, breathing classes.
Yes.
Try and
Work on yourself. Use the
Yes.
time. We're not all going out and getting hammered. We're not going on holiday. So yeah, that's really clever. Use that time to better yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I always forget to get a summer body. I remember in about September.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
go,
Me too.
I was supposed to get that hot bod again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a hot bod. And maybe learn a language.
Learn a language.
I could learn English.
You could, yeah, that would be quite helpful.
Be helpful for this.
Download Duolingo.
I'll
That's
download
what
Duolingo.
I do. January, I actually do get excited. I think, oh my God, great. Everyone back in that office, getting me work.
Right.
Like,
Get me roles as 11-year-old boys in plays about witches.
Where are these fellas that I want to play? And then, feeling good. But then I get to about February and I do get a bit knackered and I think, you know what? I need that sun now. And that's what
Well, look, let's book a little mini weekend break.
That'd be nice.
Just the two of us, somewhere hot and sunny. And I'll learn a language so we can talk to the locals when we're there.
Yeah,
Does that sound good?
Sounds perfect.
Right, that is winter sorted.
Done. Bish, bosh, bash. Right, honey, shall we see what the hell's been going on in this group chat?
Yeah, let's have some group chat action.
Be nosy.
Let's be nosy.
Nosy. Right, here we go. Emily. Hey. So, I've been out with my boyfriend for about 2 years now, and honestly, things are good. But recently, I've started developing a crush on someone at work. Oh, God. It's not like I want to cheat or anything, but I can't help the butterflies I feel when they're around. Is this normal? And how do I stop myself from crossing a line?
Well, butterflies are normal.
No.
I think, I'm just going to say this, I think crushes are fine.
Yeah.
I think a boundaried crush, just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I don't think they're terrible. You're quite a jealous creature, aren't you? And I don't think my boyfriend's allowed to have crushes. And I also don't get them if he's watching. But I think they're harmless. But you're quite jealous, aren't you? If your boyfriend had a crush, you'd probably break.
If my boyfriend was saying that he was going into work and getting butterflies for someone
Actually,
else,
that's true. That is too far.
Well, bye.
Right.
In the bin. If I heard no, I think butterflies are obviously a signal of, it's like excitement. It's like you're buzzing. It's also like, what butterflies are also a sign of? Your nervous system telling you to actually stay away from that person.
Ooh.
Well, that's what they say.
Who's they?
Them.
The
people on the internet and that.
Oh, got
Apparently, butterflies are actually your body signaling to you that, like, this is almost quite dangerous.
Wow, so maybe Emily's co-worker is actually a very dangerous human being.
Dangerous man. Maybe.
I'd call Crime Stoppers. I think we've solved a crime here with Emily's butterflies.
He is a criminal, and you should stay away from him. Your boyfriend will be pleased to hear it.
Let's not freak Emily out.
No, Emily, I think it's fine, but I think that this is a slippery little slope.
It is a slippery slope, Emily.
I think you could be slipping and sliding down that slope because it's like, butterflies, you start fantasizing, then you might start,
Well, Emily even said, how do I stop this from getting serious or crossing a line? So even she's thinking what we're thinking.
She's thinking that she's already crossing that line.
Do you think if you find someone else attractive when you're going out with someone, it's actually a sign that you should break up with your partner?
No, because I have had that before. I had a situation once where I was with someone and I did kind of fancy someone
Butterflies?
else. Yeah.
Right.
But then it was so in that circumstance. And when that job was over, I actually looked back and went, what the hell was all that about?
Oh, no, but that's different. That's like, that's like hot teacher syndrome. Or like when I'm on a shoot sometimes, there'll be one person that's just mildly attractive. But when you're with them all day, you start going, oh, that lighting guy is quite attractive.
Exactly. But it did confuse me a little
so
bit.
Maybe Emily is just trapped in close proximity with this guy. And so she's decided he's the best of a bad bunch. I'm assuming everyone at your work is fugly, Emily. And so she's decided that she fancies him, right?
Well, it's the butterflies.
You're troubled by the butterflies.
It's just like butterflies mean something. That's like a feeling. That's butterflies. I've not had butterflies by anyone in a really long time. Yeah. And that's what I'm missing to go, because that's what life's about, isn't it? The butterflies.
If you want to feel, it's not, by the way.
But do you know what I mean?
But
That's
if you want to feel butterflies, eat a caterpillar.
There we go. Exactly. I don't know. I think maybe what you should actually do is go out with a group of these people from work. After work, really get to know this fella, because you might actually sit and have a conversation with him. And I get it so many times where I think someone's really, really fit, and then I actually go for a drink with him and I just go, blah. And I go, crush over, got to know him now. Nothing's in that. Maybe I guess that's exploring it though, isn't it? But maybe you should explore it, because you might be surprised. You then might lose the butterflies, or you might end up falling in love with him, and then, I'm sorry.
Everyone's a winner, basically. Go out with him. Either you'll fall in love with him or you'll think he's a loser. Job done. Case closed.
I do think that you just need to figure out what this is, what this connection is.
Well done. I feel like you've given a terrible advice there and potentially destroyed her relationship. Never mind. Is there any more in the group chat?
Any more? Oh, sorry, bloody hell. Group chat's popping off. Hey. So, my boyfriend recently introduced the idea to me of possibly getting someone else into the bedroom, as in threesome. I know he would want this to be another girl. However, I don't know how comfortable I'd be with this and if I'd end up being jealous. I'd personally much rather it be with another male, as a straight girl myself. But if this was to make him jealous in any way, then I wouldn't want to do that at all. Do I just do it, or should I really take more time with it to think about it? From Jenny.
Oh my gosh, Jenny.
It's a bit of a mess, really.
You're a mess. Take more time. You're obviously not up for it. Why are you even considering it?
No.
The fact that you're bothering to write to us, I mean, keep writing, obviously.
We want to hear.
We want to hear this because it's like a TV show for me. I'm eating popcorn, fiending off your life, Jenny.
Absolutely.
But don't do it. Don't do it. Too many questions.
Yeah, I just
too many questions.
Any of that, nervous energy or hesitation, and you're not feeling really sure, then it's obviously not the right thing for you. And if your partner, I mean, it's all about having a conversation and being open with your partner. And if he's got an issue with it, then he might not be the right person for you. Or I don't know, if you fancy the guy thing, then actually, tit for tat. You want the girl, I want the guy. You want the tit, I want the tat.
You changed your tune pretty quick. Put that on a greeting card and my gravestone. I really like that. Great advice there, Diana.
There we go.
So, Diana, I'm worried that we're actually terrible at giving advice and we need the help of a professional.
Absolutely.
I have Kate on the line, who is a qualified sex therapist, unlike us, and we're going to ask her some questions, turn the tables, maybe get some tips for how we can help our listeners' lives.
Brilliant.
Hi, Kate. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good. We're very excited to be chatting with you about your work. Can you tell us, first of all, how you got into sex therapy?
Yeah, so basically it was kind of started as a therapy training, kind of academic really interest. And what I discovered was that people changed as soon as sex came into the conversation, the way that they responded to it coming up as a topic. But actually it was a thing that people were really bringing to therapy or didn't really feel like they knew where to take their kind of questions and problems about. And so psychosexual therapy is a specialist branch of therapy, and my training kind of went in that direction and hasn't changed since.
Can I ask as well, in terms of the people that you work with, what's really the setup? Do you work a lot with couples, individuals? What's the most popular setup that you have? Who do you get to see? Who comes to see you?
Oh yeah, both individuals and couples. A real kind of mix of both. Some people might be coming to psychosexual therapy at the point that they've just ended a relationship and they don't want to carry what's been a difficulty or a struggle in their past relationship. That might have been why it broke down. It also might not have been, but they want to kind of work on that before getting into a next relationship. And some people want to address a problem in a relationship in order to make things work. But also a lot of people I work with are single. And so it's a real mix. I always say that psychosexual therapy is kind of everyday people with everyday problems. It's just that the problems are about this particular area of their lives.
Do you wish that you could maybe connect to people before things become a problem? Like, do you think we could improve things at school or in education? Because it seems as though you're reaching people that have come to the issues have come to a head. And I'm just thinking if we could maybe do interventions earlier on and change the culture around sex, maybe things wouldn't get so extreme. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's a huge part of my work. I do a lot of kind of discussions like this, a lot of podcasts, have my own podcast, do a lot of writing. And the whole point of that is that I fundamentally believe that a high percentage of the people who are in my therapy room wouldn't be in it if we got this stuff right before that, if we had a more comfortable culture with that, if we saw that people knew where to go with these problems before they became very cyclical. The worse we feel about something, the worse the problem becomes, the worse the problem becomes, the worse we feel about it. So I absolutely believe that dealing with these things earlier or changing the discussions around it would be massively helpful.
I'm just thinking, what are some of the most common issues that couples or individuals come to you with? asking for a friend.
Yes, please.
Yeah, asking for a friend is a very common phrase in my world. Really, I mean, anything, basically, psychosexual therapy is a specialist branch of talking psychotherapy, particularly for problems, difficulties, challenges to do with sex. Now, that could be on the dysfunction side. It could be things like erectile dysfunction, people having difficulties with orgasm, their bodies having changed through illness, medication, accident, struggling to be present during sex, being unable to experience pleasure. I mean, really, there's that kind of physical side of it. I do a lot of sexual dysfunction work. And then we see problems with desire, which is our motivations, our want for sex. You know, what makes me want to make sex? Why do me and my partner want different levels of sex or different kind of regularity or types of sex? Obviously, we have things like sexual trauma, difficult sexual events, and things that might have happened in people's lives which have changed their sex lives. And alongside that, also sexual pain conditions, people being unable to have sex, people who feel sexually inexperienced and therefore very anxious about sex. And then there's the relational dynamics of it. So how someone is sexual in a relationship, what kind of sex they want, if that clashes with what their partner wants, and how they want to learn to navigate that. But really, there's no, I'd say those are the more common ones, but it's really for if sex is a difficulty or a challenge for you and you want to change that, that's when you might come to psychosexual therapy.
Well, maybe should we take a moment, Jack? Is there anything on? We've got Kate here.
Well, I mean, Kate, obviously all of these questions are on behalf of close friends of mine.
Absolutely.
None of them have anything to do with me. One thing that I've noticed as I get older looking at relationships is I think lots of people talk about the honeymoon period in relationships. And it's interesting there when you were describing all the different reasons why people come and see you. I think we've got to remember is that there's no optimal amount or way to have sex. It's what's right for you. And if things have come into your life that have maybe damaged your relationship with it, that's stuff to work on. But like looking at long-term relationships, when the honeymoon phase is over, are there different phases of attraction, like the phases of the moon in a relationship? And how do people kind of get their heads around the evolution of sexual attraction as a way of expressing love for their partner?
Yeah, I mean, we'll make a sex therapist if you get Jack. One of the things that I always say,
I'm not very good at it.
One of the first things we've got to say is that, of course, sex changes in a relationship. You know, of course, everything else changes in a relationship from the honeymoon phase all the way through. And one of the biggest things that I talk about in my work is that our sex life has to adapt. We have to change it, that we think about the different phases, what it brings up for us. And your relationship is completely different at the start as it is, you know, after 6 months, after 2 years. And why would sex be protected from that in any way? So we have to treat sex like we do everything else in life, which is that we see what's working and what isn't working. We don't think about it as this fixed entity, a fixed concept, and that we fear the change so much. And that's, I think, actually a bigger part of the problem than sex actually changing, is that we think that if sex changes, that's indicative of something going wrong. Whereas actually, if we treated that as the norm and we said to people, your sex lives will change, whatever else you have going on, sex is in context, it's in context of everything else that's happening in your life, then people wouldn't panic so much when it changes, and they would feel more able to do something with it. They would feel more able. And that's where the conversation started, isn't it? Is that we don't know how to talk about it. So none of us feel equipped to know what to do when that's the case.
Exactly. I mean, I remember having, you know, a few long-term relationships, and it's that first night that you go over to someone's house and you don't have sex for the first time and your partner falls asleep. And I'm led there thinking, oh my God, I don't feel validated. I think a lot of me, you know, a lot of my love language is through physical touch and through it. I guess it validates me as well. And when you see those things happen, I remember I would really, that would stress me out a lot.
So the knowledge there that things are going to evolve and change, and that's okay. It sounds like what Kate was just describing was dead on there, that it was your anxiety around what does that mean for me, for our relationship.
Yeah, what's he thinking of me? What does he know about me and myself? And why doesn't he want to touch me? And yeah, whereas actually that is just that's just how things
You might have
work.
just been tired, Diana.
Absolutely shattered. Absolutely shattered. Can I maybe ask a question?
Go for it.
So basically, okay, I've not had sex now for a while. I think it's maybe about 11 months nearly. And that was a decision that I made just because I felt like I was giving a lot of my energy over to men and getting really disappointed, and my energy fields, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to give it a rest, not going to date. But really funnily, like what's happened is it's now had an effect on my emotional perspective about things, and I'm lean on more towards anxious attachment, secure when I'm with the right person, but more anxious. And now that I've not had that sort of physical touch or been there or been dating, I've now started to sort of like shut down and become slightly avoidant. And and when people talk to me about long-term relationships or getting married or anything like that, I then think, oh, actually no, I don't know if I even want that anymore. And that's very unlike me. So I feel like not having that physical thing and has now made me almost shut off slightly emotionally. Does that, because surely they're related, right? That's what's happening here.
Well, I suppose it sounds a bit like you've learned to be without it. You've kind of become self-sufficient in a way without it. And so therefore actually, and we see this is a really common thing with in my practice, is we then build up an anxiety about a thing that we become more distant from. And so the idea of then closing that gap again feels quite scary. But it's desire, so that motivation for sex. Bear in mind, we separate arousal and desire. So arousal is the body's physical process of preparing for sex, and sex is the motivation, the reasons for wanting sex. It feels like if you've been without it for a while, that you've almost kind of forgotten what it is to want it in the same way.
Absolutely. That is how I feel. Yeah. I think at the beginning of this situation, I was, self-pleasuring a lot. And then now I'm not doing that as much anymore. And yeah, so it's almost like it slightly shut me down slightly. And that, I don't really recognize who I am in that sense at the moment, because I've always really aspired to fall in love and potentially maybe get married and everything. And right now that I'm questioning that a lot. And yeah, so it's interesting because, and I guess that also, and also I'm thinking, well, I am really independent. I don't need it, and maybe I can just self-pleasure, and I don't need anything like that. But isn't that part of life? It's about, not for everyone, but it's about being physical with a mate, and I am a sexual person. It's quite odd because in relationships, I'm a highly sexual person as well. So yeah, it's all very
but
quite
it's the
strange.
Why.
Yeah,
it's the why you're doing it. I mean, the why people have sex is almost the bigger part than the what. It's the why do I want to do that? Is that the sex I want to have? Why am I doing this? Why with that person? Why in this place? That is such a big part of it. And I guess it's about, maybe that's changing for you, has changed for you. And I just, you would hope that, or the suspicion is that when it then gets back to being something that you do really want again, then actually it's better that you're in a place when actually you feel like this is a thing I really want, because before it wasn't giving me what I wanted. And that's why I had a pause from it. But we're seeing these breaks being reported a lot more commonly now than we ever did historically, because of dating burnout and things like that.
Why are there these breaks? It's interesting that people are taking these periods of celibacy. What's going on here in the culture? What's going on here for Diana?
Yeah, well, voluntary celibacy is what we call it, is when people choose to have a break from sex, because quite honestly, it's a really basic bottom line of sex isn't giving them what they want. It's not giving them what they're looking for. It becomes something which is not satisfying them in a certain way or giving them what they're hoping to get from it. I mean, a bit like anything else in life that we're not really getting what we want from.
Is there something else, though, that actually maybe it's the relationships that aren't giving people what they want? And there may be sex and relationships are being conflated. And so people are saying, actually, I want to be by myself. And a way I can be by myself in our culture is through not having sex. That's going to kind of stop relationships that aren't serving me.
Yeah, I mean, it can be both. We don't use the words kind of sex and intimacy or kind of sex and relationships to mean the same thing, but often the two things cross over for people. But if, what is quite commonly reported is people feeling like they have this dating fatigue or kind of dating burnout, which is I feel like I'm doing the same thing again and again and again, and it's not getting me where I want it to get me to. And therefore, sometimes doing something differently, taking a pause, taking a change feels like a way of looking after themselves.
Absolutely. I mean, I was getting absolutely exasperated by being heartbroken and it not working out. But then also, then I tried the more casual side of things of, why don't I, a bit of casual sex. But I found no matter what, if I do that with someone, I do get attached. I think a lot of it is emotional for me. So I was becoming exhausted trying to have a bit of casual sex and then getting emotionally attached to that person and then feeling disappointed if I didn't see them again, or we spoke a little bit and then they didn't want to see me again, and then what that meant. And I almost have to then go, you know what? I can't even go near it. Sex to me, it's emotionally really triggering me right now. Yeah. And yeah. So I agree with everything you've just said.
Kate, do you think that in our culture there's such a swing maybe in certain parts of society towards sex positivity, but maybe we've stopped admitting the emotional side of sex and the effect that that can have on people? Because I think it kind of started with Sex and the City, which was really empowering for women, then being able to own their sexuality, talk about sex in a way that previously only men were allowed to talk about. But I've noticed that all my friends of all genders actually find this modern landscape a little bit more confusing. It's not just that sex is over here and intimacy and relationships are over there, as maybe we've been encouraged to think, but actually it's a lot more complex than that.
Yeah, well, we've seen a massive, massive shift, and we're in this kind of interesting time at the moment where we're stuck in the history of sex still being taboo and a difficult subject to talk about. But then at the same time, we're meant to all be more comfortable with it. Boots are selling sex toys, supermarkets are selling sex toys, and we've got this clash of the kind of sexual past and sexual present. So sex is everywhere and it's in advertising campaigns and all over Netflix and everything, but it's this type of sex which a lot of people are not having. But then we feel stuck in knowing how to get to the sex lives that we want, because we also feel like we're quite ashamed around sex, or that it's taboo, or that we shouldn't really be talking about it. And the other part that sits in the middle of that is that we all feel that we should have it all worked out, and so we shouldn't need to ask the questions, and that creates a sense of confusion. Because one of the things that I say a lot in my work is the biggest side effect of a sexual problem is feeling isolated. We feel like we're the only ones because we only see great sex being talked about. And that is, one of the reasons that people come to someone like me, because it's a confidential space. It's a place to have the conversations. When we feel like we have to admit something, we have to admit we have a problem. Whereas if it was a problem with any other part of our health or well-being, we would feel much less awkward, difficult, embarrassed about seeking help for it.
That's fascinating.
Absolutely.
What would some of your top tips be for people to develop a healthier relationship with their own sexuality?
Yeah, I think one of the things we talk about is sexual wellness, which even in itself as a term is interesting. It didn't really exist even kind of 10 years ago. I think one of the things is listening to different conversations and perspectives. I recommend a lot of podcasts, books, TED Talks, things like that, because so many of us have a very narrow definition or view of sex. And so starting to listen to other voices and people talking about sex in a way which requires no action from you apart from doing that. Because I think people often think, these kind of phrases like spicing up your sex life, which I slightly kind of struggle with anyway as a phrase, mean that people fear they have to suddenly do something dramatic. Actually, these small steps
really
are a good
daunting,
thing.
actually, that, isn't it?
And working out how you can start to talk about sex. People who've been in relationships for 10 plus years sometimes don't know how to talk about sex, even though they've been having it all that time. But if we can start to encourage people to think that it's okay for them to start to have conversations with partners, really that's where it begins. None of us are mind readers. We can't know what's going on for our partners unless we ask them.
Absolutely. Communication is key. Kate, thank you so much for speaking with us today. It's been so insightful, and I feel like I just word vomited all about my sex life there. But I really, really appreciate, we really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And hopefully we can ring you again soon with some more of our issues.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on.
Thank
Thanks
you
so much, Kate.
Take care. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
I felt like I was sat in one of your therapy sessions there.
I know, I did feel a bit like...
I thought you were going to cry at one point.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, babe.
You okay?
I am a bit emotional today, I'm not going to lie. Oh my God, you know when someone goes, I thought you were going to cry at one point, and then you now get a lump in your throat. I'm feeling quite emotional.
Darling one. And when you said, there was one bit when you talked about like not being touched as well, and I just wanted to reach over and just grab you.
I'm getting emotional now.
It's okay. I think one thing that I found really interesting in that conversation was like, we're so led to just focus on like sex, right? But there's all this other emotional stuff. We like, sex isn't supposed to be emotional in our modern culture. We're supposed to be all like independent, and
exactly.
And in all my talks with all my friends, it is about intimacy. It is about feeling rejected. It is about being scared and feeling alone. Like there's so much in it. There's so much in it.
Absolutely, I think so. I think for me, I definitely gave it up. And the way that I can speak about it sometimes is, too many men in my energy field, and but whereas actually I feel like I've been let down. And for me I'm not someone that goes out a lot and really fancies someone, or I love a cheeky snog every now and again.
No, I know
really
exactly what you mean.
Someone, it takes me a while, and I feel like I've let my guard down with people,
and they've hurt you,
and they've really hurt me, and physically it takes me a lot to go there, and therefore I've just so therefore the decision to do this was a lot to do with I can't be physically.
You want to protect yourself. You want to protect yourself. I think it's so interesting because we all like present external versions of ourselves, and you're so confident and fun, and the way you talk about guys, you're so empowered. And I think for you to like be this open and show this side is really beautiful. I think vulnerability is so beautiful. And so many people are going to listen to this and be like, that's how I feel. Like, you don't have to put a brave face on. And I think taking the time for yourself to say, no, I'm going to protect myself. I'm not going to like give myself to people that don't treat me well or care enough about me, and to be more cautious with it. I feel like nowadays it's not cool to... I'm not being sex unpositive by saying that there is such an emotional part of it. And if you go there with someone and then they treat you really badly, it's so much more painful than if you haven't been intimate with them physically.
Absolutely. I find that. And I find, there was a caller that was on a while ago, and she was so sweet. And she was talking about how she's a virgin and all these all the things that made her in her head about that. And even for me, it's like I've got my home and casual sex, you inviting this person around and it's your space. It's like I've been single for so long now that I go to bed every single night and I've got my little candles and I've got a picture of my family beside my bed and I've got this, and it's
precious.
Then I'm thinking I'm going to let this person into my space, and I don't know if I want them to see that, and then all the little things that like my tap might not be working properly, or this and that, or like even your floors are all there in this space, and it's really fun and it's sexy in the moment, but then even the next day it's the cold harsh light of day, and then you're feeling overwhelmed, and you're feeling, well, the last time I did this, well, there was one guy that I opened up everything to, and he, they didn't stick around sometimes, and it's all these other things that...
They don't even get you a McDonald's breakfast.
Yeah, and then...
Well, if you don't want people in your house, Danny, you could just go dogging.
Yeah, well, you know what? Why the hell not? Well, no, I normally have a rule now, is I don't like, well, obviously it's been a while now, but I wouldn't really let guys back. I go near like to yours, and then if I wanted to, leave in the middle of the night.
So you're the guy then?
I have done that before.
See, you're doing exactly what you've accused other people of doing.
But isn't it funny how we think that men, I've always said that men have done this or like ran away, that maybe they're a trash, but maybe when I've done it, it's because I feel uncomfortable and I'm protecting myself.
Right, well, the guys could be going through the same thing. I think when I'm the gay best friend to loads of girls, and then loads of straight guys asking me advice as well, I get to see both sides, and I do rat the other team out occasionally.
Absolutely.
But you would be so shocked at how sensitive and nervous so many straight guys are. Like, they're just the same. They're like freaking out about rewording a message.
Yeah.
Like, I think if women were given more power to speak more openly about what they want and their sexuality. And if men were granted the power to admit that they can be really sensitive and vulnerable as well, and they're just as afraid and cautious and nervous of being hurt, they get just as attached. I think if we opened that up socially, then things wouldn't feel so heightened and terrifying for both sides. Conversations like this are so important. I just want to thank you so much for being so vulnerable, and I just love you so much, Diana.
I love you. Jack, this is like, Jack knows me so well, so when I'm speaking, it's like you can, I
can see your heart, Diana. And I love this journey that you're on, and I think it's beautiful that you're sharing it. And when you're ready, you're going to find someone that like really deserves you. And we just need to protect you. So when it's okay. So that when you meet them, you're like feeling happy and whole enough to enjoy that relationship.
Absolutely. No, of course. Like, I'm actually really proud of myself for doing this. And like, I'm really looking after myself at the moment and showing myself a lot of self-love, and I'm proud of myself.
You should be. Oh, you're making me cry.
What is wrong with us?
I don't know. You're getting your period, but I have no such excuse.
I literally just came on this morning.
Oh
so
gosh,
girly.
maybe I'm coming on as well.
I think
well,
that was
a great chat. I love you lots.
Love you. Thank you. Bloody hell.
Ah.
Oh yeah, no, bloody Kate doing it.
God, Kate's very good, isn't she? I think I'm a better sex therapist than Kate.
You're very good.
I'm going to become a sex therapist.
You should do.
The reason why I can't become a therapist is because I love you, so I'll listen to it. But some loser coming in and telling me their boring problems.
You know what? Is like, I always think if I was a therapist, I'd be so nosy. I'd be like, so show me what they look like. I'd want to know everything.
Oh, you'd want to know.
So,
you'd probably stalk their Facebook and Instagram, wouldn't
I'd
you?
be like on my fake account. Like,
yeah, you'd be on your Finsta. You'd be so unhealthy as a therapist.
Like, I'm really upset about him, and I'd be like, but I've seen him, and he's real, like,
he's rubbish.
Not great.
He's rubbish.
He's not fit. You need to get over it.
I love
I'd
this.
be like that.
Well, proper like some therapists, I think they're called non-interrogative therapists. They sit back and they're like, "How did that make you feel?"
Yeah.
I would be like, "Get rid of him."
Yeah, but like,
bin him.
Sounds like a fucking loser in the bin.
Yeah, but you'd know he was a loser because you would have followed him.
I'd follow him Instagram, and then I'd be like, "Should we just go to the pub and we'll just talk about this because this is mental."
Yeah, you'd end up on a mad night out with your clients. Probably wake up next to them.
Yeah, don't ask me to be a therapist.
Oh,
We're going to end it is. Now we have our 30-second solutions. Alice, me and my boyfriend are stuck in a sex rut. It's always just so boring when we do the deed. What are some good ways we could spice it up?
Curry.
There we go. Throw some chili on it.
Yeah,
there we go.
If you want it spicy, chuck some chili on it.
Absolutely.
Or a madras.
Yeah. No, what could you do?
I don't like it when... Oh, really quickly, I don't like it when people say they want to spice things
I know,
up.
because it's well, what preferences? We're all different. I think you should have a conversation and ask him if he got any fantasies and share some fantasies, you know?
Or maybe work on the relationship why you're in a rut in the first place. Maybe the answer is actually emotional, not sexual. There you go.
There you go. Good luck, Alice. Daniel, I need to make my mornings more productive as I just find myself being so lazy. Do you have any tips?
Oh, I'm not the guy to answer this. I am so not a morning person.
Really?
I find it easier to wake up at like 5 in the morning than like 9 or 8. I think he maybe should try and go really early, get a routine in, book in a gym class that's really expensive that he can't get out of, that he has to go to.
Absolutely. I think, you know, having a little morning routine is like something that excites you. For me, mine is my cup of coffee. It really excites me. My incense. And then I go on a run.
That sounds awful.
I love that. It makes me happy. Okay, Paul. The guy I'm seeing refuses to make plans more than 24 hours in advance. Is he just spontaneous or not that into me?
Could be both.
Yeah.
He's not that into you.
I know. I don't really know. I'm a planner. 24 hours?
He's looking for a better option.
Do you think so?
No question.
I just don't like it when people don't have plans. I like to know what's going on.
If I like someone, I'm locking him in for a time and I'm honouring it.
Yeah.
If he's waiting, it means he's looking for a better option. Get rid.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It's just like, no, value my time. Don't be telling me 24 hours in advance. Let me know what the hell I'm doing.
Respect yourself.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel that I'm quite emotionally orientated, I've realised. I'm quite jokey in real life, but having these conversations made me realise that the most important part of human relations is actually the emotional one. rather than the sexual one.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've all realised today that I'm extremely emotional about everything. So
I think being vulnerable is probably the most beautiful, sexy thing a human being can do, and I applaud your bravery. I think it's stunning.
thank you, Angel. Yeah, no, I think I needed that. I think sometimes I haven't really been stopping and talking about things that much, and maybe I need just to get that little thing off my chest, off my mind.
Well, I'm glad I was here for it.
Thanks, baby.
I love you, Diana.
That's it for this week's episode of Just Between Us, the podcast with all of the answers some of the time. If you've got a question to ask us, please email us on justbetweenus@metro.co.uk.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at JBUPod for behind the scenes chaos and fun. Don't forget to subscribe so you get updated with our latest episodes.
Until next time, keep it messy, keep it honest, and remember, it's just between us.